As it seems I have no other options, I have conceded to reveal some important information to you crystal gems.
Yep, this episode also takes place a day after last episode. At least that's the vibe I'm getting again. A lot of these episodes through the end of season 2 feel like they take place on back-to-back days. Also, I may sound a bit different. I'm trying some new audio effect presets to replace the lack of effects that I was using before.
This is the Earth.
How much do you think Peridot and Steven rehearsed this? I think they ran it through once and only once. Just enough for Steven to know where to stand. What's with this fly swatter? The holes are so specifically laid out that it makes me think it's some kind of message. If you fed that into an old computer from the 60s, I bet it would say, "Hello World" or something.
At the very center of the planet's core lies the cluster.
The very center? I know they say this multiple times throughout different episodes, but for some reason I only grokked that it was maybe a few miles below the surface. The core? Why's it gotta be at the core? Shit would all melt down there.
A massive artificial fusion composed of millions of gem shards.
This is a recap from last episode, right? We can move on? Alright, let's move on.
What is that?
It's the cluster.
It does not look like that.
It does now, at least in my head. I always pictured the cluster as some sort of giant dinosaur snake thing. Maybe nowadays I'd picture it more like a Tarrasque. The Tarrasque is kind of the same idea, right? It's laying dormant underground and would destroy the whole world if it woke up. I'm talking D&D Tarrasque here, not French myth.
What a cluster.
I missed this one before. Obviously she means clusterfuck. If this were in a kid's show, she'd be allowed to say it. I think Amethyst would be the most vulgar character in the show if she was allowed to swear. Okay, second, right behind Barb. Oh, stool check? There are no stools in this scene. What the hell?
We'll need to build some sort of machine to take us to the center of the Earth. It'll have to—
Hey! I wasn't finished speaking. What we need is to build some sort of machine.
The show's been mentioning Homeworld quite a bit so far, but this episode is the first taste we get of the hierarchical structure they have there. Any life form a gem sees as below them gets ignored, like here how Peridot ignores Pearl and then immediately goes and says the same thing. We'll see quite a lot more of this once we see more Homeworld gems.
It'll need to withstand up to 360 gigapascals of pressure.
That number is accurate. I mean, it was easy to find just by Googling. Also, they use pascals on Homeworld? What about the rest of the metric system? Okay, Peridot's stronger than I gave her credit for. It's impressive that someone that small could do that. Also, what the fuck, Peridot? Take a pill. That's TV number 4 that gets destroyed. It's not something that happens as frequently as a cry streak, but it's something. Also, this microwave that just got destroyed is back together in this next shot. Alright, we're back to the barn, and the show hangs around here for the next few episodes. There's not a ton to mention about this place that I didn't already talk about in Space Race. You can see the temple in all of Beach City from here, though, in case you needed an idea of where this actually was.
What we have here in the barn should be adequate enough for us to get started.
Are we sure anything in this barn could withstand 360 gigapascals and however much heat is at the center of the planet?
Sorry, Steven. It's a lovely drawing, but it won't look like this.
That's code for we gotta erase it all and put the real blueprint here. Also, ooh, space travel is a callback to Space Race.
Yeah, she's gotta stay and help build the drill thing, right?
No, you're confused. A Pearl can't build a thing like this.
That's racist. Actually, that's just Gem Society, which is to say racist. We'll see it more, but each gem is made for a specific purpose, and Gem Society says that they can't deviate from those purposes. Not that they're not allowed to, I'm pretty sure their society just doesn't believe that gems can change in that way. Damn, we live in a society.
They're for standing around and looking nice and holding your stuff for you.
Peridot thinks Pearl looks nice? All you shippers frothing at the mouth at that. Also, Pearl's being meant to hold your stuff explains why she stores so much shit in her gem.
She's a made-to-order servant, just like the hundreds of other pearls being flaunted around back on Homeworld.
Hundreds of other pearls. That's a fucking bombshell to anyone not paying attention. There was a hint toward that in an earlier episode, but that was only implying there's more than one pearl. Here we're being straight up told explicitly that there are hundreds of other pearls. Does that also mean there are other gems? Other peridots, other amethysts, other rose quartzes and rubies and sapphires and whatever else? The answer is inevitably yes, there's going to be a parallel version of every gem we've seen so far.
And she looks like a fancy one, too.
How many of you forget that Pearl has this ribbon? I know I do, a lot. No point to be made here, I just forget that Pearl has a ribbon sometimes.
And I didn't fight a 1,000-year war for this planet's independence to take orders from the likes of you!
Wait, that war lasted 1,000 years? I thought it was like 100? 200? 1,000? That was 6,000 years ago. There's some mention in an official art book of the oldest gems being 20,000 years old, so a war taking up over a third of that lifetime is pretty significant. Just to put the timeline in perspective. Gonna rename this series to Chronology.
I'm as good at building things as you. Better, even.
Ha! Name one thing you could engineer better. Go on.
I have to give my verdict here. Pearl built a mostly functional spaceship out of scrap from the barn, and Peridot didn't even consider doing that when she was so desperate to get off Earth. The whole contest that happens this episode doesn't even matter. Pearl is already the better engineer.
I see a race. A giant robo race with prizes. Giant robo prizes.
This episode doesn't have any giant robo prizes, very disappointed in that. Rare square eyes, to go with the rest of the robot thing he's got going on. I don't know how either of them managed to build robots that look anything like these with the parts in the barn. I mean, Pearl has wheels that could have come off of some landing gear, and this body that kinda looks like an airplane body. Peridot, I don't know what any of these parts are. I know, cartoon logic, I'm just being a dick about it.
Hey!
Mine's taller. I win.
I love this line. This is my favorite line in this episode. Maybe one of the best Pearl lines this whole season. Oh hey, the ooh space travel sign is still up on the barn. Of course, if nobody took it down.
Ladies and gentlegems, welcome to the first annual Robo Olympics!
Is it really annual if it's the first one? Is it really annual if it never happens again after this?
Let the games begin!
Oh boy, montage. You know how much I love a montage in an 11-minute episode. I gave praise to the montages in Space Race for being short and to the point, getting across that they spent some amount of time building stuff. But this one definitely feels like it's padding out the episode. It does show contrast between Pearl's and Peridot's style and personality, but Peridot gets much better one-on-one moments with Amethyst and Garnet in the next few episodes. There's a mysterious, I don't know, is that an antenna mast or a stand for a windmill? Someone else's house is here in the background. I wonder if they know there's two giant robots duking it out in their neighbor's property. I guess that's the benefit of living in the country. If you want to have a giant robot battle, no HOA or city ordinances are going to stop you. Oh, they're teasing Garnet eating again? Garnet never fucking eats in this show, and this scene makes me think that they teased it all the time as a running joke. She always picks up food, and we never actually see her take a bite or drink out of anything. Subjective? Fuck that. Pearl's actually vaguely looks like Amethyst. Peridot really phoned it in and smeared a bunch of purple on the canvas. Pearl takes that point. Also, Steven's the judge. He can't just say it's subjective. It's his call.
Ready, set, chuck!
Whose cars were those? I hope they were junkers. Even if they were junkers, they could have used some parts from them to build the drill.
You both get a point on that one.
No, go measure it. Go find the cars and see which one went farther. Between the painting and this, I think this competition is a sham.
Well, have you ever seen a Pearl do this?
Yeah, she has actually. Did you forget all the time you spent fighting and trying to capture her?
Stop! Giant robots shouldn't fight!
Nah, he's right. Giant robots fighting would be expensive as hell. Save that for the movies, and keep robot fighting to more reasonable sizes, like with BattleBots. I gotta watch BattleBots again. That shit's awesome. I gotta go watch Pacific Rim again. That shit's also awesome.
You're just a pearl!
That's right! I am a Pearl!
Hell fucking yes! Not for the Pearl girl boss moment, but for actually showing a character punching another character in the face. I feel like that kind of violence is always censored in kids' shows, so it's always refreshing when I remember this show never shied away from this kind of fist-to-face violence.
I'm still gonna kick your butt!
Pachoo, 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 pachoo. Making up for lost time, are we? Peridot's swollen cheek is gone in a few shots, and then comes back in this shot, and then doesn't disappear again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is an homage to the scene from the Avengers where the Hulk smashes Loki around like a rag doll. I mean, come on, it's even a green robot.
But I won! What about the rules?
Welcome to Earth.
Why are you mirrored?
Welcome to Earth.
I love this. This is Peridot's first of many culture shock moments, which each play an important role in her development. Each one builds upon the last, but I think this one is my favorite. Because it's the first, it feels like the biggest. Not to say the other moments aren't good, but Welcome to Earth is such a huge fuck you in response to how she's been behaving so far. It's iconic.
I have to admit, it's remarkable that a pearl such as yourself could become such a knowledgeable technician.
What I like most about Peridot apologizing and making amends during these scenes is that nobody tells her that she should do it. Even though she manages to fuck things up between her and them, she's competent enough to patch things up on her own. In her own way, too. She doesn't say she's sorry verbatim in this scene, but you can tell that's what she means.
Those round appendages on your machine could be useful for something.
They're called wheels.
You're telling me that Gems never invented the wheel? Huh, now that I think about it, all the vehicles, robots, whatever other gem tech either floats or has legs. I never considered it before. I always forget how good this episode is until I rewatch it, despite so much of it being taken up by recap and a montage. It's great for learning about how differently gems see each other on Homeworld than they do on Earth. And from Peridot's perspective, how much learning she needs to do about how the crystal gems see each other, how to respect them, and how to get respect back. The special sauce that this episode is missing to have it be a really good character episode is some good moments. Scenes where characters say or do something impactful which sticks with the viewer. You know, moments. And this episode almost got it right with Welcome to Earth, but that's all it got. When I hear people talk about this one, it's that scene and nothing surrounding it. Kind of a shame because the episode itself is pretty good. And if you want to see new episodes from me a week before they premiere on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description as always. Biggest shoutouts to my Grandmaster patron, Scala LD. Grandmaster of the Butterfly Effect. I don't know how it works, but I saw them kill a bug once and they told me it would guarantee that a piano didn't fall on my head 2 weeks later. Sure enough, they were right, no piano. And shoutouts to my master patron, Geeky Game Guru, master of the aux cord. If you're driving with them, ask for their driving playlist. It fucking rocks. And shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Henri Wickers, Bippy121, Bob the Turtle 352, Boomblurp, Bright Galaxy, Can Make a Robot But Doesn't Know About Rain, Cool Waffle, Dr. Moon, Fox Certified, GPW, Glingle123, Horsey Jumper, Lazarus, Let's Run Into This Corner, Oh No We're Cornered, Loga, Marsh, Max Buchek, Murky Water 6, Nathan Drake, Netabag, Roberty, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, The Cloaked Goat, The One True Fusion, Tricky Van Ricky, Wingo Dingo, Yotawo, and ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode is Too Far. Now it's Amethyst's turn to go on a life-changing adventure with Peridot.